Hello everybody and welcome back to Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. You've rejoined us here inside Pastoria City. In this episode we're going to explore Pastoria City, see what it has to offer, and then do the Pastoria Gym. So the first thing you see when you come in is this shady looking Team Galactic grunt leaning up against the tree and kind of trying to stay out of sight. And he says he's got something and he doesn't know where to set it off. So it sounds like he has a bomb, though we're going to come back to that in future. There's nothing you can do with him just now. Just to the west of him is an entrance to what's called the Great Marsh. We're not going to explore that in this episode, we'll have a look in the next episode. But yeah, it's a pretty awesome place. To the west of that is of course a Pokemon Center, which you can use for healing up your Pokemon. If you speak to the Parasol lady here, just south of the entrance to the Great Marsh, she'll give you some bubble stickers, which if you're using the ball capsules and decorating your Pokeballs, then they could come in useful to you. You see just there on the western side, there is the gym, which we're not going to do quite yet. You'll see this town is split into two different sections, kind of like a north and a south. Just below the gym, there's this house here, and if you go around the house, you can go like around the little fence, and that leads you to the southern section. Just inside this house here, there's not a lot to do. There's just a man who speaks about the quick trams in the Grand Marsh, which is what we'll look at in the next episode. To the east of his house, there are 4 berry trees containing 4 Nana berries and 4 Parasim berries. This Infernape's getting annoying where he's always in the way. So now we've grabbed those, we can continue on. If we just go down here, we'll see there's a patch of water. There is a Pokemon available in this patch of water that we haven't caught yet, but we'll come back and grab that in a moment. Within the Pokemon Mart, there is just 1 or 2 new things I don't think we've seen, at least not in a regular shop. We now have a Quick Ball. So what a Quick Ball does is, the earlier in the fight it's used, or the battle it's used, the higher the capture chance. So if you're trying to capture something, you might as well on your first turn just throw a Quick Ball and see what happens basically, and see if you can get it, because that's the time when it's got the highest encounter chance, capture chance. Heading down just to the southwest and to the entrance to Route 212, there is a hidden item just down here within this puddle. If you use your dowsing machine, you will be able to see where it is. There we go. And that hidden item is a full heal. So heading back into Pastoria City, you can head up round here, past the little fence, and here is the gym. So this gym uses primarily water type Pokemon. So it's recommended you bring electric and grass type Pokemon. Be aware that some of the Pokemon within this gym are also ground type. So an electric type may struggle against some of the Pokemon. These Pokemon include Barboach, Quagsire, so there's quite a few that actually have a resistance to electric. Before we challenge that gym though, we're going to quickly come into this house here in the centre of Pastoria City. I didn't mean to click on the TV, but I'm curious of how they know I found a hidden full heal. But within here, there's a boy who asks about all the different forms of Burmy. So Burmy, similar to Wormadam, can have multiple different outfits or cloaks, and if you bring that boy all 3 different outfits, he will give you a reward. And just to the east of him is the move, I think it's the move tutor. So if you have a heart scale, you can click on your Pokemon and you can teach them a move which they would have got through leveling up. There are also some slightly different moves, so in this instance there's Flare Blitz, you'll see that we haven't had a chance to learn. And that's because Infernape would have learnt these through leveling up, but obviously we didn't have an Infernape all along, we had Chimchar and Monferno. So I'm going to teach Infernape Flare Blitz, as it's a really strong physical attack that's fire type. It does inflict a little bit of recoil, but the extra damage should make up for that. And as long as you have heart scales, you can just keep teaching your Pokemon as many moves as you like. So see here, there's Shadow Punch, Confuse Ray, Hypnosis for Haunter, all moves that I didn't have on him before. So as I mentioned earlier, there is this patch of water where there is one Pokemon that we haven't yet caught. So we'll have a little fish and see if we can find it. And first time's a charm, there it is. So this is one of the Pokemon we saw for the first time, I think, on the prior route against the fisherman. This is a Remoraid, which is a water-type Pokemon that can evolve into the Pokemon Octillery. It is also a requirement if you have the Pokemon Mantike to evolve Mantike into Mantine. You have to have a Remoraid in your party, which is an interesting mechanic. As you see with the Quick Balls, if you throw the Quick Ball straight away, you have a pretty high chance of capturing the Pokemon, so we got that straight away. This was only a level 10 though, so it did have quite a high capture chance to begin with. It squirts water forcefully from its mouth to shoot down flying prey. So those Remoraids in the water you can find with the Good Rod at the usual levels, between 10 and 25. So your catch might be significantly harder than mine if you do encounter a level 25. Anyway, that's everything to do in Pastoria City as of now. So now I am going to challenge the gym. As I said, I'm going to lead with my Luxray, as it's electric type, though grass type might be more suitable. So the structure of this gym is, there's multiple of these Lilos floating, and you have to adjust the water level by hitting the green and orange switches. So you have to move the water level up and down so you can go across the Lilos to access the next area. And if you hit the Lilos in the right order, you'll eventually be able to get through to Crasher Wake, who is the gym leader. First up here then, we have a Weasel level 26. This gym should be pretty easy for you if you beat Maylene in the last gym, as all the Pokemon in this gym are actually the same levels as Maylene's gym, so up to level 30. The reason for this is you can actually access this gym, as I mentioned before you do the fighting gym in Veilstone City. You could have just skipped Veilstone altogether, ran through and gone all the way down here. So to allow for that, they have to make sure that the Pokemon in the gym are the same levels, which is what they did. So anyway, if you hit the orange switch, you see the water level has dropped, and you can run all the way through here and up this other set of stairs. So that's the basic premise of what we're trying to do. We're trying to hit all the switches to get to the next area. So now we've dropped that and gone through to this area, we do see another trainer. This is Fisher Walter, and he uses a Barboach. So I'll show you here, Barboach is another one of these Pokemon that also has a ground type that you don't really expect to be there. So if I use Spark, for example, you'll see here it has no effect because of that ground typing. And it does know ground type moves such as Mud Slap. So be aware of that when you battle against these trainers. Barboach itself is not particularly strong. However, Quagsire is definitely a hell of a lot stronger. Though in my case, I'm a very, very high level right now compared to this gym, so it should be a cakewalk, but we'll see. So he only had one Pokemon, so that's him defeated. We can now move over and hit the switch that's just next to him. So if we hit this green switch, you'll see the water level rises back up to the mid-level. And that then allows us to come down here and run over the Lilo, which is now floating at a higher level. If you hit the blue switches, that raises it to like the maximum level. Apologies for a small amount of video skipping here. It looks like there was a small issue with my capture card, though it should still give all the information, and it should clear up in a little minute. So this is a Wingull. A Wingull you can find on the previous route before entering Pastoria City. It's a flying and water type, so very, very weak to electric type attacks. Also pretty balanced against rock types, as rock will be super effective against flying, but then the water will be super effective against rock. Again, recommended just use an electric type. He has multiple Wingulls by the looks of it. And good to see that the footage is cleared up a bit. Apologies for that skipping. So he's going to use quick attack just to get a little attack in, and you can see even with a critical hit it only did 5 or 6 damage, and that's not unexpected seeing as we're 13 levels higher. The gym leader is the same level as Maylene as well, so we should be able to walk through that pretty simply. So that's Sailor Damien defeated, and we should now be able to hit the blue switch just behind him. So this will be the blue switch, the first one that we've hit. So this will show how high the water level goes. There we go, when there's a blue switch hit. So it brings it right up to the top, and all the poor trainers were now drowning under the water. But anyway, it allows us to come back to past the tuber that we defeated at the beginning, and now scale across to this southeastern walkway, where we encounter Tuber Caitlin, who uses a couple of slightly different Pokemon. First up, she uses an Azurill, which is the baby form of Marill and Azumarill. Being a baby Pokemon, not particularly difficult to defeat. Yeah, I believe Azurill is water and fairy type, if I'm not mistaken. So you could also use like poison or steel types against it. And the second one is Marill, the evolved form of Azurill. So both of these Pokemon are new to us right now, but if you did the Great Marsh before this, they may not be new to you, as both Marill and Azurill can both be caught within the Great Marsh, which we'll see later on if we manage to encounter one. They are quite rare spawns though, so there's every chance that we don't find one. So that's Caitlin defeated. We can now proceed up to the north, across these 2 Lilos, where there is a fisherman. You don't have to battle the fisherman, as they don't look directly across a path, so you can just run right past them. However, we're going to get as much experience as possible anyway. There's a reason we're so over-leveled, it's because we're literally battling everyone possible. Whereas I think the game normally allows for a certain amount of trainer skipping. But anyway, we're going to battle them all just to keep getting that XP in. So I'm not sure why I use tackle here, but Goldine's still taken down pretty simply. Of course, we've encountered plenty of Goldines before. And Fisher Eric's second Pokemon is Barboach, the Pokemon that we went through earlier on. Hopefully we'll find something a bit stronger soon. I'm hoping that the 5th gym has a bit of a jump up in levels, because we haven't really experienced much of a challenge as of yet, so I'm hoping that the next gyms will up the challenge somewhat. I think the only feints we've really had, I think, was Haunter, and that's because I was surprised by the presence of a dark type move that took him out. And there's Gyarados defeated, and that's Fisher Eric. So now just above him you'll see there's another green switch. If we hit that, the stairs to our right are now cleared. So we can head down here. Don't be tempted to hit the orange switch. As you'll see, it just traps you on this ledge. There is a green switch to get back off. Instead, we have to keep going south and then hit this orange switch here, which will allow us to go down, round, and back up to the north, in which way we can then loop round and head up this northwestern side where we encounter another sailor. So this sailor is Sailor Samson. He uses 3 Pokemon. First up is a Shellos, which, similar to Quagsire and Barboach, Shellos and Gastrodon are both also ground type. So you see there's an on-running theme here, where they're deliberately using Pokemon that will have a resistance to electricity. So if you have a grass type in your team, this should be very, very easy. Not that it isn't easy anyway. So Sailor Samson will use 2 Shellos, both level 24, and also a Wingull level 24. While I defeat this sailor, I am going to quickly mention, I think I have settled on the team I wish to use going forward for the rest of the game. However, doing so is going to require going into the Grand Underground and finding those Pokemon spawns. So what we're going to do is, after this episode, we will then explore the Great Marsh, and then we'll probably have an episode where I go into the Grand Underground without commentary and just search for the Pokemon I want for the team, and also find some new statues and things like that. So I'll just have a longer episode just showing everything I'm doing in the Grand Underground. And then once I've done that, I'll come back and I'll just give a recap with the story mission. Anyway, back to the gym. Just north of this sailor, there is a blue switch, which opens up this path here. If the game lets us run across, you'll see we once again can skip past this sailor, who we've already battled him. But the path is now open to battle against Crasher Wake, the gym leader. Welcome. I don't get challenged very often. The glory you are now beholding is the Pastoria gym leader. That's right, I am Crasher Wake. My Pokemon were toughened up by the stormy white waters. They'll take everything you can throw at them and pull you under. Let's get it on. And here he is, in his full image form. He definitely looks slightly more threatening than the sprite he has in the overworld. But he'll intro with a Gyarados, which with electric type is very easy to take out. Gyarados is level 27, so similar to Maylene. Just make sure you have a team of Pokemon around level 27 to 30 at least, and you should be able to defeat this gym without too much bother. But being a water flying type, Gyarados is extremely vulnerable to electric type, so we can take that down in one hit. And that's a level up for Manaphy. It's good to see us actually getting some XP from these. For the second Pokemon that Crasher Wake is going to use is a Quagsire. Quagsire is water and ground type. It knows a few water type moves such as Scald, and it also knows ground type moves such as Mud Bomb. So definitely be aware of your typings here. I'm going to send out Staraptor, as Staraptor is fast and pretty strong. Should be able to take it down in 2 hits. Yeah, there we go. And it means that we're not weak to the ground type moves, and the water types will only do mediocre damage. Staraptor also seems to be very fond of us, as he quite often dodges moves and hits critical hits out of friendship with us, which is quite cool. And there's a level up for Luxray as well. You can see his stats are coming on very, very well. Even though he probably will not stay in our team going forward, as there's another electric type that I would quite like to use. So we're going to bring Luxray back in for Crasher Wake's final Pokemon. His final Pokemon, and his so-called boss Pokemon, is a Floatzel. So we haven't seen one of these before. Floatzel is the evolved form of Weasel. It's a pure water type, and he does also have it holding a citrus berry. So if it gets down to low health, he will use that to recover 30 HP. Though in this case, we took it down easily in one go. And there's another level for Haunter. Another Pokemon I think will not be staying in our team. We'll use it to get Gengar into the Pokedex, and then we'll skip on. So now that we've defeated him, he will give us our 4th gym badge. You can see we're halfway there now. Gives us the Fen badge. So it allows us to now use the hidden machine Defog. So the hidden machine Defog we actually find fairly soon. I will show you where it is in the next episode. It also gives us TM55s, which contain the move Brine. If a Pokemon has less than half their HP left, Brine will inflict double damage. So it's useful for like a big final hit. If you need like an impetus of damage towards the end of a battle, you can use the move Brine to really do some damage. Anyway, that's actually going to be it for this episode. If you have enjoyed, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more from me in the future. I upload every day at 1 PM, so if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, you will be alerted whenever I upload. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you on the rest of this series. I've been your average gamer, and I'll see you in the next one.